Hello and welcome to a scene for Hong Kong House of Cards. Today, Xiu and Charlie are on their way to the temple and nearby graveyards to pay some respect to the dead. And as such, Xiu has brought a reasonably large amount of paper with her. Some already folded, some not folded yet.
Yes, let's invest in that crafts expenditure for next month.
So they're going to presumably make their way towards the temple.
Yep. Charlie had for his side of it, he's got well, the druids of the Fiona had their own have a way of honoring the dead. It's which he's probably going to incorporate when he does his part. He's going to incorporate the Asian into to it. Uh, he's got a a pocket flask, and he's got a guitar strapped to his back because he's going to be singing to the dead.
Okay. So first they make their way to the temple,
Yes.
and you will get some incense. And then, unless Charlie objects at any point, she's going to go around every shrine in the temple. And at each one, she's going to hand Charlie a stick of incense, light one herself, and bow 3 times, put the incense into the holder. There's plenty of holders, surprisingly enough. And clap her hands 3 times before bowing again very deeply.
Yeah.
And moving on to the next shrine. There's a lot of shrines, so this may take them half an hour or so.
Yep. No, Charlie's not going to object because mostly because he's watching her very closely, so he can get the that get her ritual down right, so he can incorporate it into what he's doing.
She's going to make sure that the last one they visit is the shrine to the ancestral spirits. And she's going to begin by doing the same thing, but then, after she's bowed very deeply, she is going to pull 2 sheets of paper out of her bag. And she's going to hold one out to Charlie.
He'll take it.
And she will fold the paper in half twice and then throw it into the small fire. And look to Charlie.
He will repeat what she just did. Start ending with the shrine honoring the ancestral spirits. And with that one, he when he finishes, if Zhu wants to roll perception alertness, she can.
Okay, I don't think I have the best dice for this, but I'll double check what they are. At the same time as Dice Stream is loading up.
All right.
We're on streaming. It's always annoying when these things take their time. Okay. Perception. And that is. Okay. Thought that's what it was, but we've always got to check. Nope.
You don't hear it, but you your eyes trail to his mouth, because I'm assuming you're going to be standing where you can watch what he's doing. He mouths. Do what?
You're standing right next to him. They're both facing the shrine, but she is looking towards him.
Yeah, you see like he mouths you see that he mouths something extra, but you couldn't hear it. Unless as you can read lips, you couldn't tell what he said.
Okay. Does Charlie understand Cantonese? I can't remember.
We learned it, and I dropped the XP. It's just we gotta wait for Will and Ari.
Oh yeah, yeah. Sorry, I was getting confused. Right. So next thing she's going to do is pull a small brass bowl from her bag. She's going to bow over it and put just one lump of charcoal into it, and then light it using a piece of paper and the fire that's in front of the ancestral spirits. And then she's going to start walking out of the temple and towards the graveyard that is across the road.
Charlie's not going to take long standing in front, standing at the shrine to the ancestor spirits. It's going to be like a good 2 count before he's coming back out.
Okay.
With you. And once we get to the graveyard, he's going to pull the guitar where he can start playing it.
Okay. She's going to stop at each of the graves and very clearly, in Cantonese, but you probably understand it because it's not very complex. Say, I wish to honor you, and then the name of the person that is written on the gravestone, with this gift. And in front, and she'll use that little bowl with the one piece of charcoal in it to burn a small piece of origami in front of each of the graves.
Charlie, for his part, will give Xiu time to do this, do her part, but he's going to basically repeat what she says, and he's going to start an Irish. I know it's not something I don't know if that would be something they would appreciate, but it's something he would do in this situation. But he would start playing and singing a Irish nocturne lullaby.
Cool. She's gonna raise an eyebrow in surprise, but she's not going to tell you not to do it. It is a perfectly acceptable thing to do. Unusual, but not insulting. So
it's this. He's doing the same thing. It's 2 different cultural ways of doing it.
Yep.
and he's going to be with each passing chorus and verse, he will keep playing as he goes to different graves, but he will repeat how you worded what she said,
Mm-hmm.
but just with each of the names that's on the headstone.
Yep. And she will keep pace with you, moving the small bowl at the appropriate time. And there'll be bowing involved, and so forth. And then they'll get back to the main shrine in the center of the graveyard after they've visited all of the graves. And there she will take the rest of the paper that has not been folded into origami and will begin folding it to look like gold bars. And we'll
Later,
pardon?
Charlie's going to be working right now. Later, Charlie is going to give Xiu a compliment on her skill with origami, but not right now.
Yep. And as she finishes each gold bar, she's going to put it into the fire with a quiet murmur. And she's actually listing off the names of all the people in the graveyard again, but this time in front of the main shrine. And asking that the ancestor spirits see to their comfort in the afterlife.
Charlie will do the same thing, keeping pace with tradition, with the custom and the tradition of this sort of ritual. But after he lists off all the names in the graveyard to this main shrine, he's going to list off his ancestors, starting with both branches of his family: his stepdad, his mom, his dad, and his stepmom, his little brother, and going back a few generations.
Okay. As he mentions each of these, you will also add more paper to the fire.
It's somewhat of a it goes back at least. You can tell some of these people they were close to him until recently, for the reason because they departed this life.
Mm-hmm.
You just don't know how, but you know, because as he's doing this, he starts tearing up a little bit while he's playing.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, she'll still honor each of them with, like I said, a small gold bar.
And
when he's finished,
yeah,
which she won't rush him on, but when he is finished,
yeah.
she will pull a final pre-folded piece from her bag, and it looks like a garden. It's like green with grass bits and little flowers, and a tree that seems to have little tiny apples on it. And
he'll look over, but if he wasn't like crying at the moment, he would have a very he's not surprised look. It's more along the lines of it's surprising how skilled she is with her skill when he sees that.
and this one she will dedicate to her honourable father before she burns it. And after a moment's quiet, as the garden takes a little while to burn, she will look up to Charlie, give him a
He
bow.
he'll bow back. He will wipe his eyes and recompose himself. You're very skilled at your craft with origami.
My mother taught me. It is good
Ah,
for both honouring the spirits and soothing the soul.
it's a lot like uh, me and singing and my guitar playing. It my dad taught me before the war.
She'll nod. I never knew my father. Unfortunately, he died in childbirth.
Ah, that's rough.
She nods.
A lot of times we don't with the guru we don't uh, a lot of times know get to know the guru parent because they're constant fighting with and one of the well I'm going to say one of the try it now uh, but I was lucky enough that I was I lived on step grounds. I was born and raised on step grounds, and but I would go out to have my schooling.
That is much like my childhood. My mother is the kitsune parent.
Ah,
Not that
she.
there is any problem among our kind with having both parents be kitsune.
Mm, if she's if you're any reflection of her, she must have been very beautiful.
There'll be a small smile and a nod. She is. It is a somewhat melancholy beauty.
And I guess this could be a good stopping point because I completely lost track of what I was track of what I was about to say.
That sounds fine to me. Having
Yeah,
honoured the ancestors and the various people of the city, as well as their own relatives, Xiu and Charlie head off to go about their usual business in various ways.
yeah.
Thank you, players, for playing and watchers for watching.